Hey folks, welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Indri-Trini Single Malt Indian Whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey folks, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and tonight on the bar, we've got ourselves an Indian Single Malt with the Indri-Trini. And I've been working my way through this bottle, and I'm finally ready to share my formal review and my thoughts with you guys on this particular release here from Piccadilly Distilleries. But before we get into the specs and the overview of the Indri-Trini, if you have yourself any Indian Single Malt, maybe you got something from Indri, maybe you got something from Piccadilly, you want to pour yourself a dram and drink along with me, please do so. I encourage it. It makes life a heck of a lot better for you guys on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me, especially when it's good Indian Single Malt whiskey. So what can I tell you guys about the Indri-Trini Triple Wood here? For those of you who aren't familiar with it, well, the Indri-Trini is a premium Indian single malt that's produced by Piccadilly Distilleries in India, and it was launched back in 2022. It's notable for being one of India's first triple-cask matured malts, and the name Trini refers to the maturation of the three different woods that are used in there, and we'll get into that as we get into the specs and the overview of this release from Indri. And Indri-Trini has been gaining international recognition for its quality, offering smooth, layered tasting experience, and that reflects both India's specific terroir as well as global whiskey marketing techniques. The importer for Indri into Canada was nice enough to send this over the channel for me to take a look at, and I have been working my way through it. I've done a couple of videos in my first impressions. I also did a shootout video of this versus an Amaret Fusion, I believe it was. So I'm finally ready to kind of give you guys my thoughts and opinions, my formal thoughts and opinions and review on this particular release. So what are we dealing with here on the specs of the Indri-Trini? So the Indri-Trini Triple Wood, it's an Indian single malt, obviously. Comes with an ABV stamp of 46% ABV, right in the sweet spot. Non-chill filtered, no color added, just the way we like it, folks. And it's matured in a combination of three different caskings there. So you've got first full ex-bourbon, it's got ex-French wine casks, and PX sherry casks there, making it India's first ever triple distilled expression here. So yeah. Very, very cool and great. And let's move into the presentation now and take a look at the packaging here and what's all included in it. I am a big fan of the packaging. There's one small thing, and it's because it's too high. I'm not a big fan of the big tall bottles, but you know what? It's got a lot going on for it here. The packaging on the tin is great. There's a ton of information on here, background of the distillery, tasting notes, what have you. The maturation process, it talks about India's terroir and the terroir around the distillery, Piccadilly. And, you know, same on the back here, and prominently right on the front here, non-chill filtered, no color added, and a product of India on there. Very nice. Really enjoy the packaging, and it gets a definite pass from me. And again, treating the whiskey drinker with dignity and respect, and putting all the information on there, being as transparent as I possibly can. There's also a QR code, I should note, links you on the website for more information. It's pretty much just a marketing thing. But again, they're doing a little extra stuff. They're going above and beyond, so hats off to you guys over there at Piccadilly and Indri for what you're doing here to treat the whiskey drink with respect. With that, let's get into the pour. Get a little cork pop here, and pour myself a nice little dram of this Indri-Trini Triple Wood. Non-age statement on this. I didn't state that in earlier, but non-age statement on this. Give it a nice little pour. All natural presentation, guys. We'll go in for a closer look and take a look here at the liquid in the glass. Beautiful, deep copper amber. I assume very much imparted by the ex-PX sherry casks that are, I'm sure, very active, as well as that those first full bourbons still pulling some good color to there. I assume the terroir as well. I mean, the weather and such in India definitely adding some, definitely helping that liquid go in and out of the wood. Yeah, very nice color indeed. All right, with that, I'm going to transition to the nose. We'll take a look at it and see what we can get out of the nose. So hopefully you got something good in your glass and you're drinking along with me here. And hopefully you got something from Indri in there, preferably the Indri-Trini Triple Wood. Let's see what we can get on the nose. So this is what makes me a big fan of world whiskeys and Indian whiskey, and really this release here. The nose is, the nose is exquisite. It's a great nose for a non-age statement. Like, dare I say entry level? I know this is not the entry level. I think they have another offering that's 40%. That's a little bit below this one, but I mean, we'll get into the value proposition eventually, but it's pretty much entry level, in my opinion, for this one. Right off the get-go, nothing offensive on the nose, no bitterness, no burn, just lots and lots of flavor. Vanilla, very heavy vanilla, honey, the caramel, toffee notes in there, Then you get this nice shot of red berries, like raspberries, blackberries, I guess, or not really red berries, but blackberries, strawberries. I get cherries, I get apples. Some nice light coffee, maybe a little tiny bit of tobacco on there. Just a tad of spice on the end there, but no bitterness. It's really more of a cinnamon kind of synthetic cinnamon kind of aroma on the back end there. But yeah, very nice, very lively, and very bright and active nose on the Indri-Trini. All right, with that, let's transition into the taste, take a look at the palate, and see what we can get out of the Indri-Trini on the palate. Again, Indri-Trini triple wood, single malt Indian whiskey. So hopefully you got something good in your glass. I don't know how to say cheers in Punjabi or in any dialect of Indian language, so I'll just say cheers and slanja and to your health, and let's get into it. Took a good sip there, let it move around, chewed on it a little bit. Very good. I know my other two videos that I've done on this have given it a favorable palate, and this is no different. Very lively, very active palate. Palate very much matches the nose. First thing I'm getting is a healthy dose of vanilla. I'm getting some honey in there too, apples, pears. I get a bit of toasted nuts, so maybe some almonds and some peanuts in there. I get some red berries in there, raspberries, blackberries, like strawberries in there. I'm gonna go for one more sip. Almost get a bit of like a ripe cherry note, almost cherry cola-esque, like a cherry Coke. Then I get a nice dose at the back end, dark chocolate with a touch of bitterness, cinnamon, some clove, some nutmeg, and then a nice little blast of white pepper spice that just kind of ties it all together. I should have said too at the beginning there, on the palate, it's not off, there's nothing egregiously, alcoholic or bitter on this at all. It's just they're using very, very good casks, and the liquid they're producing is of great quality. I can say that without any issue. Before we move to the finish, I'm going to go in for one more sip. Actually, you know what? Let's transition to the finish. I'll have one more sip. I'll be drinking the rest of this after the review's over anyways, but let's go on to the finish. One more sip, and I'll give you my final thoughts and opinions before we move into value. Like honestly, I could chew on that all day. Finish-wise, definitely a medium finish on this one. Well balanced, good level of complexity to it. I mean, some of these flavor profiles I've added here maybe a little bit, common to the whiskey drinker and all that, but it takes a lot to tie them all together. And I think that's what this particular release here from Indri does really well, is it kind of combines all of those levels of, you get the bourbon cask influence, you get that French wine cask influence, and you get that PX sherry influence, and it really kind of touches all of the levels on it, and it does it in a way that's not eclectic. It's very much a very linear, I think if you added water to it, it would kind of go a little bit more to that sweetness, but it's very much a very nice and linear transformational dram, and it's a great one at that. We'll move into the value proposition. I cannot get this in Ontario. The importer was nice enough to send this over via mail. It is available out west. We do have some Indian releases here in Ontario, but this particular one is not available to me. Not yet anyways. I think they're going to try and get into the market here in Ontario. Right now you can get this out west at most stores for about $80. I think $80 is a great price point for this. Again, this is not the entry level. This is not their bottom of the barrel or bottom floor entry. This is a step up, I believe, and it's a natural presentation. Got lots going on for it. Good casking, great, great cask selection. They're using great integrity casks in there, and I think they're just doing a whole bunch of stuff great and well. And it's a great representation of Indian whiskey and where it's going. And I think at $80, it's a great deal. It's a steal. You'd be a fool to pass this one up. And if you haven't tried Indian whiskey at all, and you like your scotch, this is the place to go. This is the one I would recommend anybody to go to, just because it does kind of have a nice entry level in, and it does show you kind of what the spirit's all about, and tells you a good story behind the distillery. And yeah, I could sit here all night and talk about it. It's a great product from a great distillery, integrity product, and I'm glad I got to try it, and I'm glad I get to recommend it to you guys to try as well. So yeah, there you go. That's my formal review of the Indri-Trini Single Malt Indian Whiskey. triple wood. Very nice. Very glad I got it here. And you know, I haven't been sharing this one a whole lot with my friends. I really should, but it's pretty darn good. So if you like what we're doing here at seawaywhiskywire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at seawaywhiskywire for more content. And if you guys are still hanging along this long in the video, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Love coming down after a hard day's work, cracking into a bottle of Indian Single Malt, pouring it out, letting you guys hear my thoughts and opinions, and just overall have a great time. And I hope you had a great time too, guys. All right, with that, I'm going to sign off, go finish my dram, and probably get to some editing. So hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. All the best, take care, and I'll see you around. Bye for now.